This segment of Delmarvalife is brought to you by the law offices of Tunnell Raysor.
Mount Everest is the tallest mountain in the world. Coffee comes from beans, just two of quite a few misconceptions that we might believe. Well, it turns out many misconceptions exist about attorneys too.
And learning the truth might just benefit us if we ever need their help. Delmarvalife's Katie Zarrilli had this conversation with Kelly Dunn Gelof with the law offices of Tunnell Raysor.
Assumptions about attorneys. They're out there. And according to Kelly Dunn Gelof of Tunnell Raysor, many of them are anything but accurate. First of all, they don't know everything about the law or every practice area.
That is typically not the case. So those scenarios are easy to deal with, though, because, again, why attorneys became attorneys is to help people. So when someone has a situation that they come to me for example, that is not in my wheelhouse, say if we're out at a barbecue or just kind of out and about, I'll definitely listen to what they have to say and do my best to try to refer them to someone who could help them or take their information and look up who might handle that kind of practice area and give them a few names as some suggestions that is going to be an attorney that can help them.
And the answer might take a little time as case law changes regularly. She adds that most attorneys go into law school not knowing what their practice area will be. Often it evolves with experiences.
Most of the time, it depends on where you ended up with a clerkship or who you had a connection with, or you really fell in love with something as you were volunteering and you were able to go ahead and get into a law firm that had that particular practice area open. Sometimes attorneys will go into a law firm just happy to have a job, and they're in a practice area that ends up not being exactly what it is that they want to do.
At the heart of what they want to do, she says, is help people. That's why it can get frustrating when folks around them forget that.
I don't like the lawyer jokes because I feel like it gives lawyers such a bad name, and if they keep going on, then it makes it seem that lawyers are all bad, and lawyers are not all bad. If you think about what an attorney does, they help people through really tough times. And yes, you do have to pay for that financially, like you have to pay for the time because it does cost a lot of money and it's a lot of commitment to go through law school and be prepared to help a client through a very difficult time that's taken really seriously, and it usually is taken on with a big heart to make sure that you're representing the people well.
And as an attorney of today, she encourages others not to discourage the attorneys of tomorrow.
One thing that bothers me a lot is when people tell young adults that might be considering law school, oh, don't do it. It's terrible, or who would want to be another attorney, or we don't need another lawyer, that kind of a thing. I'm definitely a big proponent of someone who, if they're considering going to law school, if they're going to help people, it doesn't mean you have to come out and be a litigator. It doesn't mean you have to be this traditional attorney as you might see on some of those legal shows. But it's being prepared to be able to represent people, to serve on a board or on within an organization, that you're going to help an organization and be able to speak in legal terms that maybe the general public does not understand.
Kelly knew she wanted to be an attorney for a long time, and she remembers the feat of the first time she knew it was a fit.
I just remember feeling so happy that my lifelong dream is something I actually ended up loving and still absolutely love what I do. I feel really lucky in that respect because not everyone gets to do that.
And not everyone gets to do it in such a special place.
We do live in small town USA, which I absolutely love. So I absolutely love going to the grocery store, being somewhere out and about and running into clients and being able to see them outside of the office to show, that we're people too. So I love that part about where we live, is that we do get to be people. Now, I think that when you're watching some of these television shows and things, that they definitely appear more like robots at times. But that's not how the real world works. But most of us attorneys do care about our clients so much that we're able to show them that we are real people too.
People with feelings, just like the rest of us.
There is so much emotion that goes into representing any client, if you think about it, because again, when you care about your client, you're trying to help them not feel so much pain, whether it's out of their pocketbook or personally. You're trying your hardest to help them through that. So you have to listen to and understand where they're coming from emotionally. And then think about a jury trial situation. You have members of the public that you don't know personally that you're trying to explain on behalf of your client what is happening and hoping that they understand it and come out with a good verdict as it relates to your client. And it's usually not a one-day process. It's usually a couple of days. So you go through the emotions of, wow, I think this is going really well, to, oh gosh, this is not going very well, to, oh, this is going really well, to, this isn't going very well. And you just don't know until the verdict comes out. You just have no control over it, which I think a lot of people love to have more control over things than what you actually do when you're dealing with litigation specifically.
They're truly more than law learners and courtroom competitors. They're humans with hearts, with a deep desire to help.
Here's a fun fact about Kelly. During her first ever trial, her competing attorney was her former professor. That trial happened in Philadelphia, and get this, she won the case.
Way to go, Kelly!
Yeah, the student becoming the professor.
There you go.